Okay, let's get into it. Yar, have you ever really thought about this? You know that feeling after you've been playing outside or after a long day at school? You're just starving, right? Well, guess what? Plants get hungry too. But the way they eat is completely different, and honestly, it's super cool.
I mean, seriously, just look at a plant. Where's the mouth? No teeth, right? They don't have hands to pick up a roti or a sandwich. So how on earth do they eat? It's a real mystery, and today we're going to be the detectives and solve it.
You see, it's pretty simple. Every single living thing, from the smallest insect to the biggest whale, and yeah, that includes us, needs food. Why? For energy. Without that energy, you can't play cricket with your friends, you can't focus on your homework, and you definitely can't grow taller. Food is literally the fuel that keeps us going.
So, in the world of eating, there are basically two big teams. Think of it like a cricket match. On one side, you have Team Autotroph. These guys are like the master chefs. They actually cook their own food. Then you have Team Heterotroph. They're the food takers. They can't cook, so they have to get their food from somewhere else. And this picture shows it perfectly. Just look. The plant, it's an autotroph, a self-cook. It's making its own tasty lunch using just sunlight. And the cow? Well, the cow is a heterotroph, a food taker. It can't make its own food, so what does it do? It just eats the plant. See? Simple.
All right, let's dive into Team Autotroph first, the absolute superstars of the food world. These guys are the real chefs. They don't need a fancy kitchen or anything. Their kitchen is built right in.
So what is an autotroph exactly? It's any living thing that can make its own food, and they use really simple ingredients that are just lying around, water from the ground, air, and sunshine. The name is a total giveaway. Auto means self, and troph is about food, so self-feeders.
So what is this secret recipe that only they know? It's a big, fancy word, but it's probably the most important word for life on Earth. It is called photosynthesis. Seriously, this one single process is the reason most of us are even here. How cool is that?
So let's break down this awesome recipe. It's only 4 steps. First, the roots act like a giant straw, sucking up water and minerals from the soil. Second, the leaves have these tiny openings to breathe in a gas called carbon dioxide from the air. 3, the green stuff in the leaves, that's called chlorophyll, acts like a solar panel, soaking up all the sunlight. And 4, mix them all together and poof, the plant makes its own food, which is a type of sugar. And get this, as a free gift, it releases oxygen, the stuff we breathe.
Let's zoom in on the leaf, which is basically the plant's kitchen. On the left, you can see those tiny little holes. They're called stomata. That's how the plant breathes in all that carbon dioxide. And on the right, well, that's the inside of the leaf. That's the food factory where the whole magical cooking process happens.
Okay, so we've met the amazing chefs. Now it's time to meet the other team, the food takers, the heterotrophs. And this team is huge. It includes all animals, us humans, and even some really clever plants. So a heterotroph is any living thing that just can't make its own food, period. It has to get energy by eating other things, either plants or other animals. You could say they totally depend on the chefs, the autotrophs, for all their meals.
But wait, it's not always as simple as a lion eating a deer. Especially in the plant world, there's some very crafty characters who have found some, let's say, interesting ways to get their food. Challo, let's meet a few.
Okay, check this out. First up, we have parasites. These guys live on another living thing and basically steal its food. You know that yellow stringy plant, amarabelle, that you sometimes see totally covering a big tree? That's a parasite. Then you've got the saprotrophs. They're like nature's cleanup crew. They eat dead and rotting stuff, like those mushrooms you see growing on an old fallen log. And then there's this guy, the pitcher plant. This plant is an insectivore. That means it eats insects. But it's not evil or anything. See, it grows in soil that's really poor, so it doesn't get a nutrient called nitrogen. So what does it do? It makes this cool little trap shaped like a pitcher. Insects fall in, and the plant gets the extra nutrients it needs. Nature is so smart, Yar.
But hold on, here comes a plot twist. We've talked about the self-cooks and the food takers, but what happens when these different organisms decide to work together? What if they become friends? This is where it gets really cool.
This amazing kind of friendship has a sciencey name,
Symbiosis. It's when two completely different living things decide to live together and help each other out. It's kind of like having a roommate. Maybe you do the cleaning and your friend does the cooking, you both help each other, and everybody wins.
A perfect example of this is lichen. You know that flaky, crusty stuff you see on rocks or tree branches? That's not just one thing. It's two things working together. It's a team-up between a fungus and an alga. The fungus provides a safe home and absorbs water. And in return, the alga, which is an autotroph, does all the photosynthesis and makes food for both of them. Talk about teamwork, right?
Now let's go underground for another amazing friendship. See these little bumps on the roots of this pea plant? Those are called root nodules, and they're like tiny little apartment buildings for some very special bacteria called rhizobium.
So here's the awesome deal they make. The air around us is full of nitrogen, but plants can't just breathe it in. But these bacteria can. So the rhizobium grab the nitrogen from the air and turn it into plant food. It's like they're feeding the plant fertilizer. And in return, the plant gives the bacteria a safe place to live and some of its sugary food. It's a total win-win, and it makes the soil super healthy.
So, after all this, we've seen that plants can be chefs, they can be thieves, they can be trappers, and they can even be amazing friends. But why does any of this matter? Okay, let's put all the pieces together and see the big picture.
This is it. This is the main point. Those green plants, the autotrophs, they are the starting point for almost every single food chain on the planet. Think about it. A goat eats grass, and a tiger might eat the goat. But where did it all start? With the grass, a plant that got its energy from the sun. Everything comes back to them.
Oh, and you know, there's just one more tiny little thing. Remember that free gift from photosynthesis? Oxygen. Yeah, the air that you and I are breathing right this second was made by plants. So they give us our food and the air we need to live. No big deal, right? Yeah, it's only, everything. And that really brings us to the end. These incredible plants do so much for us, working quietly day in and day out. They give us food, they give us air. So, my question to you is, what can we give back? What's just one thing you think we could do to help out the plants that help us so much? Something to think about.